Hey, what's going on my YouTubers? So, look, listen. I picked up my Bible for the first time in like a month and a half, probably 2 months, right? And it's the same type of way that I ask for knowledge of thyself. And as always, it takes me exactly to where I need to be. And the book that we are going to be reading from today is Lamentations 1 through 22. How lonely sits the city that was full of people. How like a widow has she become. She who was great among the nations, she who was a princess among the province, has become a slave. She weeps bitterly in the night with tears on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she has none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt with her treacherously. They become her enemies. Judah has gone into exile because of affliction and hard servitude. She dwells now among the nations, but finds no resting place. Her pursuers have all overtaken her in the midst of her distress. The roads to Zion mourn, for none come to the festival. In all her gates, desolate. Her priest groans, her virgins have been afflicted. She herself suffers bitterly. Now, verse 2 and verse 4 certainly hit real hard. Because if you know, you know. That's all I can say. Verse 5. Her foes have become the head. Her enemies prosper, because the Lord has afflicted her for her multitude of transgressions. Her children have gone away captive before the foe. Now verse 5. Whoo, baby, that certainly is like that's an eye opener right there, like real talk. Because once again, if you know, you know. That's all I can say. Verse 6. For the daughter of Zion, all her majesty has departed. Her prince have become like deer that find no pasture. They fled without strength before the pursuer. Jerusalem remembers in the days of her affliction and wondering all the precious things that were hers from days of old. When her people fell into the hand of the foe, and there was none to help her, and her foes gloated over her, they mocked at her downfall. Certainly they did, baby. Verse 8. Jerusalem sinned grievously. Okay. Therefore she became filthy. All who honored her despise her, for they have seen her nakedness. She herself groans and turns her face away. That I did. I was ashamed. And I'm not understanding why was I ashamed when we'll talk about that in an upcoming project. Verse 9. Her uncleanliness was in her skirts. That's why we gotta stop wearing short skirts, ladies. Anyway, her uncleanliness was in her skirts. She took no thought of her future. Therefore, her fall is terrible. She has no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy has triumphed. The enemy has stretched out his hands all over her precious things, for she has seen the nations enter her sanctuary, those whom you forbade to enter your congregation. All our people groan as they search for bread. They trade their treasures for food to revive their strength. Look, O Lord, see, for I am despised. It is nothing to you, all you who pass by. Look and see if there is any sorrow like my sorrow, which was brought upon me, which the Lord inflicted on the day of his fierce anger. From on high he sent fire into my bones. He made it descend. He spread a net for my feet. He turned me back. He has left me stunned, faint all the day long. Verse 14. My transgressions were bound into a yoke. By his hand they were fastened. By his hand they were fastened together. They were set upon my neck. He caused my strength to fail. The Lord gave me into the hands of those whom I cannot withstand. Verse 15. The Lord rejected all my mighty men in my midst. He summoned an assembly against me to crush my young men. The Lord has trodden as a winepress the virgin daughter of Judah. For these things I weep, my eyes flow with tears, for a comforter is far away. For a comforter is far away from me, to revive my spirit. My children are desolate, for the enemy has prevailed. 17. Zion stretches out her hands, but there is none to comfort her. Zion stretches out her hands, but there is none to comfort her. The Lord has commanded against Jacob. His neighbors should be his foes. Jerusalem has become a filthy thing among them. The Lord is in the right, for I have rebelled against his word. But hear, all you peoples, and see my sufferings. My young women and my young men have gone into captivity. I called to my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders perished in the city, while they sought food to revive their strength. Look, O Lord, for I am in distress. My stomach churns, my heart is wrung within, because I have been very, very rebellious. In the street the sword beweaves. In the house is like death. They heard my groaning, yet there is no one to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that you have done it. You have brought the day you announced. Now let them be as I. Let all their evil doing come before you, and deal with them as you've dealt with me, because of all of my transgressions. For my groans are many, and my heart is faint. Now, honestly, 15 all the way to 22 certainly kind of triggered some gratitude. Excuse me. Some gratitude along with gratefulness. Because the way that they making it seem is totally unacceptable. And not one time did I get out of character. I'm not going to say I. I'm going to say this. Not one time did Jesus and their blood, along with our ancestors that are greater good, allow me to get out of character and prove them right. Not one time. And this situation that I'm talking about right now has been going on for almost a year. Oh, excuse me, y'all seen it. Has been going on for almost a year. It will be a year. March 26th. But anywho, so it's like in the midst it was a lesson, and I learned my lesson. Okay, that's all I can really say. Is in the midst, it was certainly a lesson. Don't never think that the only begotten Son do not hear our cries, our prayers, our wants, our needs. I look at it like this. A lot of things that we go through, it be because we brought it on ourselves. The things we say to people, the things we do to people, the way we treat people, we all gotta go through it. We gotta go through it. So if you don't want to go through it, don't dish it out. And I think we learn that the older that we get. Some of us learn at an early age, some of us don't. Some of us hard headed, some of us not. So I took this book right here as a good job, my child. And this too shall pass. Like, get on out here and be a testimony to help us save these souls. I got you, Captain. I might read chapter 2 later. I don't know. Because I really want to keep you going. But I'm gonna leave y'all alone for now. As always, stay out those phones. Use your seatbelts. Use them blinkers. Pay attention. We got too many kids. Don't nobody got time for these accidents. And then we got too many kids. Don't nobody got time for these accidents. I'm just gonna leave it like that.